We want you to hear us right now. There is a specific fixable mechanism running in your body right now. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it.
Today, we're going to walk you through that mechanism, what's actually happening, why every diet and supplement you've tried made it worse, and the simple framework that gets your energy back without cutting another calorie, swallowing another pill, or dragging yourself through one more morning on caffeine and willpower.
And we're going to tell you about the one thing no one ever told you was the most powerful tool you have against this roller coaster. And it's not a diet. It's not a supplement. It's not even a morning routine.
It's strength training. Stay with us. This is the episode I wish someone handed me 5 years ago. Welcome to the D times 2 podcast, hosted by sisters Denise and Deborah. We are all about finding balance in the various parts of life. Using the wheel of life as our guide, we explore how to keep each spoke rolling smoothly. We discuss health and wellness, education and spirituality, as well as mental and emotional growth. Join us for real conversations, practical tips, and a few laughs as we share stories, insights, and strategies to help you create a life that feels balanced, purposeful, and designed by you.
For most of my life, I treated my body like it was a problem to outrun. Tired? Push harder. Gaining weight? Cut calories, work out more. Brain fog? Take a supplement, eat differently, get more sleep. And every single time, the problem got worse, not better. It's because I was treating the symptom and ignoring the mechanism. Today, we want to show you the mechanism, because once you see it, the symptom stops making sense as a willpower problem and starts making sense as a blood sugar and cortisol problem that you can actually fix. And once you see that, you're going to understand why your morning walk, as much as I love it, has maybe been making the roller coaster worse, and what to do instead. Controversial, right?
Super controversial. But it's a big issue. I mean, blood sugar control, cortisol is a big issue. So let's talk about it today. What is cortisol, Deborah?
What is it?
And why does it spike?
Why does it spike? Yeah, so cortisol is your wake up and deal with life hormone. It's supposed to peak in the morning and then drop off through the day and then bottom out at night so that you can sleep. But with constant stress, constant nervous system dysregulation, and also in midlife around perimenopause and menopause, plus...
Oh, caffeine, say it.
Yeah, caffeine, under eating, caffeine specifically on an empty stomach, overworking out, that all flattens out the cortisol curve. So you wake up tired and you get wired but tired and a second wind at 9 o'clock, then you can't sleep. And then you wake up tired again. That loop is the roller coaster.
That's a bad feedback loop.
We don't like it.
No. So blood sugar.
What's blood got to do with it? I'm sorry. What's blood sugar got to do with it? Doesn't go as well.
No. So every time your blood sugar spikes, and ways that that happens is by eating carbs alone, sweetening your coffee or sweet energy drinks, cereal, toast, fruit juice in the morning. Insulin shows up to clean up your blood sugar. If it overcorrects, you crash. And cortisol shows up to bring your blood sugar back up to where it's supposed to be. Cortisol's backup job is blood sugar regulation.
People don't think of it that way.
No. So here's a math problem for you. Stress plus carbs plus caffeine plus undereating equals cortisol doing 2 jobs at once all day. And then you feel exhausted, puffy, and foggy, like your brain just doesn't quite work right.
Yeah. That's not a good feeling. I've been there.
That is a terrible feeling.
Have you been there?
I think everybody's been there.
Okay.
Blech.
Yeah. So sometimes eating quote, healthy can make it worse.
Why do you say, quote, healthy?
So people think of low-fat yogurt with granola or doing a fruit smoothie or just a salad with no dressing and no protein. Those are all straight carbs that spike the blood sugar. So you think you're being good, but your cortisol is screaming.
Well, yeah, that was all just carbs with nothing to help buffer it.
Yeah, but those are things that people like to think of as healthy. I just keep doing the quotes every time because it's not healthy.
Well, that was me for a while. I was doing low-fat yogurt and granola in the morning or green smoothies.
Mm-hmm.
Green smoothies have good things in them, but when you blend it all up, it's straight carb.
And
there's
when
no
it's
fiber in it.
only that and not put with anything that buffers those carbs.
Yeah,
It's literally sounds off the cortisol alarm.
it sure does.
But restriction or cutting calories or being in a calorie deficit chronically tells the body that there's a famine. Store everything. Cortisol goes up to protect you from the famine. And then, because everything's being conserved, your energy goes down.
So you can survive the famine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you said chronically cutting calories or chronic
Calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay every once in a while, but chronic all the time,
Not good. No bueno. Yep.
No.
Yep. So if your energy crashes at 3:00 and if you can't sleep at night, but you're exhausted all day, or if your face and hands feel puffy in the morning, it's not your age. It's not whatever craziness. That's the roller coaster.
Your body is doing what it is supposed to do because of what you've given it.
It's trying to protect. Yeah. The roller coaster has a driver and you're not the driver. What's driving is what you're eating, when you're eating it, and how much stress that your body is carrying. Also, how much muscle you have or used to have to absorb the blood sugar in the first place.
Hang on. What does muscle have to do with blood sugar? I know the answer, but that the average person listening might not put those two things together. Why does muscle and blood sugar, why do those two things go together?
I'm trying to think of the words that aren't too sciencey, but muscle prefers to burn sugar.
It sucks it up.
That's the bottom line. So glucose is fuel for the muscle. When you use your muscle, you burn sugar.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it controls it. It burns it off.
Deb, we've been talking about this cortisol roller coaster during this episode, and you can hear the voices of the people listening. They're exhausted, but they can't sleep. What's one thing they actually can use that you yourself use that supports that?
Yeah, I don't say this about a lot of products, but I love to use Optimal Cort Adrena. It's from Optimal Health Systems, my favorite supplement company. Mm-hmm. It's specifically formulated to support healthy adrenal function and help the body balance cortisol naturally.
All right. Well, what's in it?
So it's got all the right things. KSM 66 ashwagandha. That's the clinical grade ashwagandha, not the drugstore grade. It's not the cheap stuff. It has rhodiola, holy basil, phosphatidylserine.
Say that 10 times fast.
I know. It's one of my favorite things that helps so much. It's huge for cortisol regulation. So it also has erythro, which is an adaptogen. So it helps you deal with stress. And it's got a full B vitamin complex.
And it's not a stimulant?
Yeah, that doesn't make it act as a stimulant. That's the part that I love. It's not going to wire you up at 9:00 at night. It's not going to crash you at 3:00 in the afternoon. It's just going to help your body remember what normal feels like. Calm energy in the morning, actual rest at night. And if you've been tired but wired for longer than you want to admit, go look it up. Optimal Cort Adrena. We've got a link in the show notes, and you can always use our code DX2 at optimalhealthsystems.com.
Okay, let's talk about some framework
for controlling the roller coaster. So I think of it as the roller coaster framework or the protein first plate plus the lift.
All right.
Okay.
Protein first.
Yeah.
I think we've said that before.
We've said it a few times, that it's basically the framework that got my energy back when really nothing else did. And most people stop at the plate. They might do the protein first.
Mm-hmm.
But the women who actually feel different in 30 days add the lift.
Well, let's talk about it.
Okay. So there's 5 pillars.
Okay.
Pillar 1 is protein first, always.
Always?
Always.
Okay.
Every meal, every snack, protein first.
Gotcha.
So we've talked about this before. Let's just sum up.
Gotcha.
Okay. So eat 20 to 30 grams of protein, ideally within the first hour of when you wake up. Absolutely no more than 2 hours after you wake up. Do you know why?
Protein blunts the cortisol spike so it doesn't go super high. It stabilizes your blood sugar and it tells your brain that you're not starving. Do you remember before we said if you decrease your calories, your body thinks it's in a famine and holds on to everything?
Holds on to everything.
Everything. So if you eat protein first thing in the morning, it tells your body you're not starving.
It signals safety.
Mm-hmm.
So the body can use what it needs to use to live the life you're trying to live.
Yeah. So what does it look like?
Yeah, let's give a couple examples. So it can be a couple of eggs and a piece of cheese. It can be leftover chicken and veggies. It can be one of my favorites, which is Greek yogurt, the full fat stuff, not the diet stuff, with some berries. It can be a protein shake.
Mm-hmm.
If
That's usually what I do.
I do that a lot of times too. But there are specific things to avoid first thing.
Like what?
So I'm going to say sweet coffee, sweet juice, sweet tea, all the sweet stuff and the caffeine stuff on an empty stomach.
On an empty stomach. So if you have your protein first, then you can have your...
It will do less harm if you've already had the protein in there.
Okay.
Yep. Another thing to avoid is fruit-only breakfasts. It's only sugar. It's immediate use sugar. It just spikes everything. Fruit is healthy, but fruit on its own, first thing in the morning, not good. Cereal, granola, toast with jam, those are all cortisol triggers.
So we could partner those things. If we wanted toast or granola or cereal for breakfast, we could pair it with protein and have your protein first, right?
Totally.
So this is the second pillar.
Pillar 2 is to pair every carb. So pillar 1 is protein first. Pillar 2 is to pair the carbs.
So carbs are not the enemy. Naked carbs are the enemy.
We don't like naked carbs.
No. So put some clothes on your carbs. I think I've heard that somewhere.
You have. The glucose goddess talks about that. She's spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you eat a carb, pair it with a protein, a fat, or a fiber. So this is one of the things that I love to do is an apple with almond butter. I love that. Have rice, but have chicken and butter with it.
Okay. I usually will put some veggies with it too. It's delicious.
Or some avocado. Yum.
Yeah.
You can have steak and potato.
Yeah.
You know, steak, potato. And you can have bread with your eggs and an avocado.
So that's because fiber plus fat plus protein will slow the glucose spike from the carbs so that insulin doesn't have to overreact and be all dramatic and so that cortisol doesn't have to come in for backup.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah. So pair every carb. But another important one is pillar 3. Okay. Pillar 3 is to eat within a 10 to 12 hour window during the day and don't skip meals.
Eat every meal within that period of time, which theoretically should be easy.
Should be pretty simple, but I'm going to say the female metabolism in particularly does not respond well to long fasts or to skipping meals.
No, we talked about that a couple episodes ago. how I was doing intermittent fasting and eating later in the day.
Yeah.
And I switched to eating earlier in the day and felt much better.
Yeah, because you were eating within an hour of waking. You included protein.
Yeah.
But you can just end a little bit earlier if you want to do a little bit of a longer fast. But cortisol goes up when you're skipping meals, and then energy goes down, and then that makes your sleep worse. So your recovery is worse, and it just sets you up on a really bad cycle.
Yep. So eat breakfast.
Okay.
Eat lunch.
You got it?
You can eat a real afternoon snack with protein if you feel like you need something, and then eat dinner and then be done. You can be done eating by 5 or 6 p.m.
You can. Don't graze all the way till bedtime.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that
keeps it all high.
It's a bad scenario.
Yeah.
So let's give it a little bit of a reframe.
Okay.
If you've been skipping lunch because you're too busy or you're trying to lose weight, that's the exact thing driving the 3 p.m. crash and then 9 p.m. wired but tired feeling. Or if you've been skipping breakfast and not eating until lunch because you're trying to intermittent fast to optimize your hormones and lose weight or control your weight, it's setting up the same cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So your body isn't asking for less food. It's really asking for steadier food, anchored around protein every time.
Mm-hmm. Not grazing, eating meals.
Yep. So let's move to pillar number 4.
Okay. This one is about caffeine. Okay.
There's a cutoff time for caffeine.
There is. Have your last caffeine by noon.
Not 2.
Not 2 p.m.
Not just a little.
Noon.
Yeah.
So that's because caffeine has a half-life of 6 hours.
What does that mean?
It means that your 2 p.m. coffee is still 50% active at 8 p.m. That's 6 hours between 2 and 8 p.m. So it's still working. Your caffeine is still active. And it looks like you can't sleep because of age, but you can't sleep because you had a 2 p.m. caffeine boost.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that half-life is a minimum. Some people...
Depends on how many milligrams of caffeine and what your body does with it.
It depends on some people's metabolism also. Some people's metabolism are smaller or slower.
Mm-hmm.
So the half-life is longer. So that 50% active still at 8 p.m. is a best case scenario. For some people, it's worse. Yeah. So for me, mine is slower and that half-life goes longer. So if I have caffeine, I'm done by 10 a.m.
There you go. I know people who have caffeine at 8 p.m.
I know, it's crazy time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not asking you to give up caffeine. We're just asking you to give your cortisol a chance to do its real job at night, which is to bottom out so that you can sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Just get the caffeine out of the way before noon. And don't have it on an empty stomach.
Yeah, eat something first. Oh, eat protein first.
Right. Protein first, plate. So we said that there's a 5th piece. The 5th pillar is the one that nobody talks about. It's not a diet. It's not a supplement. It's strength training. You've talked about it a time or two, Denise.
I have, yes.
So if you've been avoiding it because you think it's for athletes or you're afraid of getting bulky or you tried it once and you got hurt or you maybe just don't even know where to start, I need you to hear me. Strength training is the most powerful thing you can do for the cortisol blood sugar roller coaster. It's actually more powerful than protein.
That's saying something.
I know. It's more powerful than cutting the caffeine, and it works differently than you think.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, you're pretty good on this. So will you lead us through this?
Sure. So let's talk about why strength training works.
And why we said the controversial statement we did at the beginning, why your morning walk might be hurting you.
Yeah.
We love them. We're still going to do them.
You can do them. Just add something else with it.
Yeah.
So muscle clears out your blood sugar, even when you're not exercising. So the more muscle you have, the more it acts like a sponge and it sucks up all that glucose and sugar out of your bloodstream. When you eat, your blood sugar goes up. That's a natural, normal reaction.
It should happen.
Yes. Your muscles soak it up without needing as much insulin. So less insulin equals less cortisol back up, which equals less roller coaster.
Yeah. So we actually, from the age of 30 onward, lose muscle every year without strength training. That's when that muscle decline starts, is at the age of 30. Less muscle equals your blood sugar has nowhere to go except into your fat cells, especially your belly fat. And then you're back into that cortisol cycle.
Strength training doesn't burn calories while you do it. So you can watch the calorie counter on your watch like I do, but it's what happens after that is the real magic.
Yeah, because it does burn some while you do it.
Yeah. But it changes the engine in your body. It turns your body into a blood sugar sponge for the next 48 to 72 hours. And that is where the magic happens.
That is magic. I think of it as the afterburn.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're burning some while you're working out, but that's actually not the whole picture.
It's not even the biggest part of it. The payoff goes on.
That's like the igniter.
Yep.
So ignite your body with strength training and be a fat burning machine for the next 42 to 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah. So strength training also ultimately resets your cortisol curve in a good way.
Hey, can we pause for just a second, Deborah?
Sure.
We've talked about the cortisol curve and kind of mentioned it throughout the podcast. Can you just give a really straightforward picture on what it is? I know we said it a few times in and out, but.
So the curve is, it goes up in the morning. It's your wake up hormone. And then it should decline over the course of the day. And then it should bottom out at night. So the curve, the exciting part of the roller coaster, the high point of it is in the morning. Okay. And then it's downhill from there. And then you reach the final at nighttime where it bottoms out so that you can sleep.
And then while you're sleeping, it starts to climb back up.
It starts a gentle, slow climb back up.
And then when it's time to wake up, it's at the top.
Literally like you're on a roller coaster.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
So if we want to reset that curve so that it's the right shape and it's working in the right way, what most people get wrong is they think that exercise raises cortisol. And yes, in the moment of doing exercise, it goes up briefly. But over weeks, the right kind of strength training actually lowers the baseline cortisol and helps your body remember how to flatten the curve back to normal later in the day.
So your cortisol, the top of the roller coaster isn't as high. Is that what that's what that's saying, right?
It's not as high, and then it retrains how to level out at the bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
So the wrong way to do it is long, slow, grinding cardio or hour-long power walks or super long bike rides, anything that leaves you more tired after. Those are the kinds of exercises that raise cortisol and then keep it raised. So there's not a good curve. It just goes up and stays at a plateau too high. The right kind of exercise is short, more intense, and leaves you feeling stronger, not depleted. So you can get it done in 20 to 30 minutes. Do something that's heavy enough or intensive enough that the last couple of reps actually feel like a struggle. They feel like work. Then you stop and you recover.
I like that kind of workout.
Me too. I always feel invincible at the end.
Like you've done something super hard because you actually have, right?
Yeah.
Strength training fixes the I'm too tired to exercise problem.
So you've talked about sitting in your car, not wanting to go into the gym before. It's not because you're too tired.
No.
It's because you don't feel like it.
And then I get in there and I feel so much better. But That's what a lot of people say is, I'm too tired to exercise. But the cruel joke is that exercise makes you have more energy, right?
Yeah.
So
Muscle loss from not strength training makes you tired.
yes. So get in the gym or go down to your basement or go somewhere and lift something heavy.
Yeah.
And then you will not be too tired to exercise. You don't get energy first and then exercise. You have to start the fire by exercising first. And in a way that builds the engine, starts the fire, and then your energy comes back. And that's the loop we're talking about breaking today.
Yeah. So let's talk about practical application. How do we do it? What does it look like? So the frequency, 2 or 3 days a week. That's if you're starting. Okay. It doesn't have to be 5 days a week. It doesn't have to be every day. 2 is enough for 20 to 30 minutes.
Not an hour?
Not an hour, not necessarily even a class. 20 minutes will do it. And you really don't need a lot of equipment. A pair of dumbbells, if you're just starting, 5-pound dumbbells or 8-pound dumbbells is plenty. Or
That's true.
you can use resistance bands. That's it. You don't have to go to the gym. You like to go to the gym. I like to go to my basement.
Well, I used to go to my basement.
Until
I had some guests move in for a few months, and so now I do go to the gym.
until you
Which is
run.
Which is probably why I sit in my car for 15 minutes. But that's what I started with. I had 5-pound weights and do 5-pound curls with my arms, and now I can do 20 pounds.
Yeah.
But I worked up to that.
Some of it depends on the muscle you're working. So if it's a curl with your bicep, start with a 5-pound. If you're doing a row for your back is normally stronger, start with an 8-pound.
It just doesn't take a lot of weight. That was what I was saying.
Yeah.
And you will build up. But go to your basement, go outside, pretend like you're on Venice Beach at Gold's Gym and exercise outside. Give your neighbors a show or something. Encourage them to go exercise.
You're talking about Venice Beach because it's so notorious for people working out there. There's also Muscle Beach in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw it. It was so funny. I just stood there and watched. I did not join the fun.
Bunch of muscle bros walking around.
Yeah.
You don't have to look like that. You don't have to live like that. Start small.
Yeah.
Your body will thank you.
So let's talk about 5 foundational exercises, like strength training exercises. This is where you start. If you've been scared or hesitant or worried or whatever the case may be, start here. You can do it in your living room. You can do it in your basement. You can do them at the gym.
I've done all those.
Yeah.
So have you.
Okay. So you might have to use your internet, your YouTube, whatever, to look up how to do proper form. We're not going to walk you through that.
I still do that.
So number 1 is the goblet squat. It will work your quads. It will work your glutes, your booty, and it will also work your core. So if your knees are a little tender or a little bit weak, do a chair squat instead of a goblet squat. And we're talking, every one of these, we're going to be talking about doing 3 sets.
So 3 times.
3 times. You'll do 8 to 10 repetitions. We got to do all the lingo because not everyone knows the lingo.
So 1 set is 8 to 10 of the repetitions of the movement.
You go to the next exercise that works a different set of muscles. So that allows those muscles that you just worked to get a break until you go to set number 2.
Okay.
So exercise number 2 is the dumbbell row or a band row. This works your upper back and really helps your posture. And your back is one of your biggest muscle groups. So
you want to suck up some glucose in your blood, work your back.
And work your quads and glutes. Yeah, those are the 3 biggest muscle groups.
Yeah.
So we're getting them out of the way with number 1 and 2. But again, 3 sets, do 10 on each side. So a dumbbell row, you do right side or left side, and then the opposite. So 10 on each side.
Oh, number 3 is push-ups. So this is going to work your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, the back of your arm that gets all loose and wiggly.
The bat
and stuff.
wings.
Mm-hmm. So some people are scared to do push-ups. Actually, I worked at the gym for a while, and one of the gals said, I can't do any push-ups. And I said, bull. So get down on your stomach. So she did. And I said, now use your arms to push yourself up. And she did. And I said, you just did a push-up. So you can do wall push-ups. If you can't get down on the ground, then put yourself against the wall, your arms against the wall, and push off the wall.
So you're facing the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do them off the counter. Do them with your knees down. I've done those. We call them girl push-ups, but boys do them too. But put your knees down on the floor and do some push-ups.
I've done every variation of push-up.
So this one, you're going to do 3 sets and do 5 to 10. That one totally depends on the strength of your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps.
Our foundational exercise number 4 is the glute bridge. Glutes are your butt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this will work your glutes and also your hamstrings, which is the back of your legs. If you can't do a glute bridge, do hip thrusts with the dumbbells on your hips. So again,
Google it.
Use your internet to find that exercise, but glute bridge or a hip thrust with a dumbbell on your hips. And then again, you're going to do 3 sets of 10.
Foundational move number 5.
Last one.
A dead hang or a farmer's carry. Now this works your grip and your shoulders and your core. You want to do 30 seconds of that 3 times. If you don't know what those are, Google them. But basically, a farmer's carry is carrying weights while walking.
Like you're a farmer carrying a bucket or 2.
Yep. And you can do one side and then the other. That works your core really well to just carry a weight in one of your hands and then walk in a straight line for 10 steps and turn around and do the other hand for 10 steps. That's what a farmer's carry is.
So you go through those 5 foundational moves, and then you're doing 3 sets of each. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you start back again at number 1 and go 1 through 5, and then go back to number 1. So 3 times through. And the rule is to pick a weight that makes those last 2 to 3 reps of each set feel like it's actual work. If you can easily do 20 reps, it's too light. Or if you can only do 5, it's too heavy. And then as you get better, those, we'll say 5 pounds, it's going to get too easy. It's going to get too light, and you're going to have to go up in the weights that you're using.
But do it according to what you like. Pay attention to your body. Lifting weights, especially using your back and your glutes, that will suck up most of the sugar in your body, in your blood system.
It will use it immediately.
It needs it. So let's talk about after you're working out with weights 2 to 3 times a week. What's a recovery?
So you've got to recover on your days off. Take a walk if you love walking. Stretch for a few minutes after each session. Get some sleep. Do some active recovery. We've talked about it before. You can do some gentle yoga or some Tai Chi, just gentle movement. That counts as active recovery. And then sleep. That is when the muscle rebuilds. And then the cortisol curve resets.
So I don't want to lift weights 3 days in a row. The answer to that is no.
This is a trick question.
No, the answer to that is no. You don't want to lift every day. You need recovery between your days.
Yes. And with those 5 foundational moves that we just talked about, you're ultimately working the whole body. So it was a trick question, because if you only did one of those moves, the next day you could do a different move that works a different part, but that's not what we're doing.
No, that's not that. For the foundational moves
we're working the full body 2 days a week. Yeah.
So you need to do a rest day in between.
Let's go through some of the concerns that people have, things that might just be holding people up.
Okay. If you're a female,
I don't want to get bulky. I don't want to look like a muscle man.
Well, let's talk about that one. First of all, you don't have the testosterone to get that big. And there are a lot of women that say that you're not going to get bulky from lifting dumbbells twice a week.
It can't happen.
Not possible, not chemically possible. Your
Yeah.
body doesn't do that. What you are going to get is leaner arms, stronger legs, and a flatter looking midsection because the muscle under fat looks different than fat alone. You're going to get a better posture. You're going to have better balance and a blood sugar sponge that works while you sleep.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We want that. We need that blood sugar sponge.
Yeah. Women that you see that look bulky are doing things differently than what we just told you. They're eating tons of protein, they're training for hours, and you're not doing that. You're eating protein first, not skipping meals. You're doing 20 minutes of the weightlifting in your living room, maybe, so you're not going to get bulky.
Trust us. Like, it's not.
No.
Can't.
No.
Won't happen. I have had quite a few people say, I don't want to get hurt. I've also been the person that was hurt and didn't want to get more hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've tried strength training before and gotten hurt, consider two things. First, were you doing movements that you weren't ready for? They were more advanced than where you were. Or were you lifting with weights that were too heavy? And did you have any coaching? Oftentimes, poor form or doing it the wrong way will hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we say, look on the internet, Google it, YouTube it, whatever, get the proper form for the exercise.
Form matters.
Yeah, that's how most people get hurt. They go too hard, too fast, or they do it wrong. Second, you're doing it to lose weight instead of to get strong. Those are different goals and they need different programs. For what we're doing, we're breaking that cortisol blood sugar roller coaster, which, pro tip, ultimately will also help you lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But we need to get strong. We're training for strength, not for burning. Those slow, controlled, deliberate burn. If a movement hurts, you modify it or you skip it. You don't push through. We don't earn the sore.
I don't have to not be able to walk the next day.
No.
That's good. So protein first. Pair every carb
No naked carbs.
with protein. Don't skip meals. Caffeine by noon. And lift something heavy at least twice a week. That's it. That's the whole framework. 5 rules.
5 pillars.
5 pillars. Sorry, not rules. 5 pillars. Nothing to buy. Nothing to join. No willpower. Just a different decision at the grocery store. A different default breakfast in 20 minutes with a set of dumbbells twice a week.
So when I personally started lifting, the weights scared me a little bit because I didn't want to get bigger. I've seen the muscle women with the bulky thighs and the big arms. I didn't want that. I already had that. I didn't want it bigger. When I did twice a week, 20 minutes at a time, I noticed something within the first month that I didn't expect. It wasn't the muscle tone, although that came. It was that my afternoon crash went away. Not got better, it went away. That 3 p.m. wall I'd had for years just disappeared. And the first time I caught myself wide awake at 9 p.m. and thought, oh, I'm going to sleep well tonight, I actually did. That was the moment I realized I had been blaming my body and my age for what was actually, it was a missing muscle problem. And once I fixed the missing muscle problem, the cortisol curve fixed itself. That is the missing piece we want you to walk away with today.
So let's talk about what the first week might look like for you, right? Day 1 through 3, it's going to be weird. You're going to feel different. You might feel more tired as your body adjusts to the cortisol roller coaster change. Your body has been using cortisol as fuel, and now you're taking that away. So push through it. It'll be okay. You might feel sore for a day or two after your first lifting session, and that is normal. Soreness is not an injury. It's just your muscles adapting to the change.
I'm going to say that's like you right now. You're sore.
I'm sore.
You did something different.
I did.
And you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So day 4 through 5, your sleep starts to shift. You might actually wake up earlier than usual, but still feel more rested. Don't panic. That's the cortisol curve starting to normalize. You'll likely feel a lift day energy within a day or two. That's a good tired feeling, not the depleted, exhausted, tired feeling. That's the signal.
Okay, now by the end of the week, the first morning you wake up and don't need coffee or caffeine to feel human, that's a signal that the framework is working.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then by a week later, day 14, that puffy face thing should start to soften and go away. The 3 p.m. crash should be gone or significantly less. You should be able to do all 5 of those foundational strength training moves with proper form by now. If a move still feels weird or hurts, you need to modify it. Don't skip it. They are foundational for a reason. And that is when you'll call your sister or your best friend and say, you got to listen to this podcast. All right. One more quick break before we close out. When we come back, I'll tell you about the morning I woke up and felt like myself again. But first.
Okay, you've been nodding along with this episode, thinking the blood sugar thing, that's me. That is exactly me. I want to introduce you to a product that I think of as the sidekick to the framework we just gave you. It's called Optimal Fat Sugar Trim from Optimal Health Systems. It's formulated to help support healthy blood sugar levels, help your body metabolize fat the way it's supposed to, and this is the part most people notice first. It helps calm the carb and sugar cravings that drive that 3 p.m. cookie and soda run. The formula includes Hymnema sylvestre, which is wild. It's actually called the sugar destroyer in Ayurvedic medicine, chromium, bitter melon, banaba leaf, alpha lipoic acid, and vanadium. It's not a stimulant. It's not a fat burner. And it's not going to make your heart race. It's nutritional support for the blood sugar system we just spent an entire episode talking about. If you're ready to stop fighting your blood sugar and start supporting it, there's a link to it on our website, dx2podcast.com. Or if you go to optimalhealthsystems.com and put in the code DX2, then you'll get a nice discount.
So I remember the story. I woke up at 6:30 in the morning. I looked at the clock and I didn't feel that dread. You know the one.
I do.
I don't want to get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like I just couldn't be that person today. I just felt awake, ready to go. And I thought, oh, this is what everyone else has been feeling this whole time. This is what morning is supposed to feel like. That was the morning I knew I was never going back.
So that happened to me when I started eating better and getting my protein early in the morning and exercising, not having caffeine late. And I started waking up on my own at 6 o'clock in the morning, ready to get up, ready to get out of bed. I thought, this is weird.
That's how I wake up every day.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
So it's nice. So if you listened to this podcast and thought, oh, that makes sense, but I don't trust myself to do it alone, that's normal. That's why we gave you the framework.
Knowing the framework and living it for 30 days are 2 different things. But we want you to hear this. You don't need a program to start. You need a protein first breakfast tomorrow. That's the only assignment. And then step 2, no naked carbs. Just follow the steps. Tomorrow morning, protein first. The rest will follow.
Sounds like a good plan to me. So if you found anything helpful, useful in this episode, please like it. Please share it with somebody who you think might need it.
You know those people who are on that roller coaster. Let's help them get off.
Yep. It's a bad roller coaster.
Find us on the socials. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know your successes, your challenges. And remember that we have all sorts of resources for you available at d2podcast.com. That's dx2podcast.com. There's free downloads, there's discount codes for the things we love and we talk about all the time, including in this episode.
So let us know how you're doing. And until next time,
keep your wheel rolling smooth.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the D2 podcast with Denise and Deborah. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who's ready to roll toward a more balanced life. Your support means the world to us. And just a quick note, we're sharing our own experiences and ideas, not professional advice. Always do your own research and talk to a qualified expert before making big decisions. Until next time, keep your wheel rolling strong.